every business is a technology business. Unless you have a technology play in your business, you cannot succeed or you cannot be in the forefront.
A visionary architect and founder of Prasoon Design Studio, Prasoon Srivastava.
One fine day, my father was driving the car and I was sitting and we were having a conversation. I said, I want to pursue civil engineering. He said, no, look at architecture. You always have a phase in your life where you think that wherever I touch, it turns to gold. My biggest failure or biggest learning in life was not respecting the cash flow that I had.
On today's episode of the pod, we are joined by Prasoon Srivastava, a visionary architect and founder of Prasoon Design Studio, whose award-winning projects have reshaped landscapes across the globe. From luxury hotels to transformative urban landmarks, Prasoon's work is a testament to innovation, cultural relevance, and timeless design. With over 2 decades of experience across UAE, Saudi Arabia, India, and beyond, Prasoon has consistently delivered designs that not only stand out, but also resonate deeply with the local context. His commitment to blending functionality and sustainability has set new benchmarks in architecture. Beyond design, Prasoon is a tech-forward thinker, founding Zept.com, an AI-driven construction management platform, revolutionizing project delivery with efficiency and transparency. Today, we're diving into his journey and his take on the future of architecture and how technology is reshaping the way we build. Hi, Prasoon. Welcome to the pod. Today, we are going to talk about your very interesting journey, which is at the juxtaposition of architecture and technology. So, I always like to start with what inspired you. What was your childhood like and your humble beginnings?
My journey started from a small town in India called Jabalpur.
Okay.
And my father has been my biggest inspiration. He's a civil engineer himself. He was practicing as a civil engineer. And while I was growing up, I have seen him working and trying to deliver the projects. And that, I think, was my biggest inspiration.
Right. Like you grew up with it.
Around my, yes, I on the go, you always listen and understand and absorb about the built environment, construction, and those jargons. People around you are talking about it. But I think I went beyond engineering. The overall design element inspired me more.
Correct.
It inspired me the overall experience that can be created through these structures and how it impacts human life. Was one of the biggest inspiration. And to be very honest, I wanted to be a civil engineer.
Okay.
And I remember one fine day, my father was driving the car and I was sitting and we were having a conversation. I said, I want to pursue civil engineering. He said, no, look at architecture. That's how the thought process towards architecture. This was when I was 16 years old.
20 years ago.
16,
years.
yeah, okay. Exactly.
Wow. So at that point, probably your father had the vision to, push you towards architecture.
Correct.
Which is amazing.
And I have to say, when I joined architecture, I was not so great as an architect because I think my DNA was more of an engineer when I started up.
Right.
But as I have been involved in the industry, my thought process has evolved.
And you think design can be learned or imbibed from the surroundings?
Both. I think the foundation is about understanding the basics.
Right.
But then you have to imbibe around the surrounding, understand how people behave.
Correct.
And you have to build for the people. And that's so important.
That's true.
Yeah.
So building in context and building for people is something that I've seen in most of your work. But what was that one turning point that pushed you more towards entrepreneurship? Because a lot of creative people struggle with numbers, business, building empires.
So when I passed out from my college, I went back and joined my father. Okay. I never worked under anyone in my life.
Oh.
So I've been an entrepreneur from day one. Yeah, but I was an entrepreneur in a small city, small town.
Right.
And in no time I became the architect in town.
Right. Because everyone knows.
Everyone knows you, and then you can do things. But something that really inspired me to think bigger in life was my journey towards sustainability.
Okay.
I remember in 2005-6, someone was visiting us, and he told me about that how world is moving towards green buildings and sustainability,
Right.
and in India there's a first green building from CII Godrej,
Yeah.
and I got really inspired. So I wrote to them that I would like to get a membership, and I would like to attend the conferences and the events.
Mhm.
And at that point, the membership was free of cost.
Okay.
They just looked at your profile, you are from the community, and they gave me the membership.
Nice.
So I used to travel all across India for good 1.5, 2 years
Mhm.
just to attend the events and learn about sustainability and architecture and how the world is moving, how buildings are having a huge environmental impact on the built environment and the world
Nice.
at large. That really gave me a vision to look above and beyond a small town and think that I can do something bigger. And in
Yeah.
those days, there were no green building certification for
There was no
professionals, lead certification in India.
Okay.
So I thought I will go all the way to Boston just to get lead certified
Oh,
so
wow.
that I can practice green. So the lead, that was my starting point. And just to tell you my story, while I gave my lead exam, I
Mhm.
finished up, and I was in those days, the days of Yahoo Messenger. I was
Oh, yeah.
online, and a friend of mine was online too, and he said, I told him, well, listen, I've become a lead AP, and how you want to boast about your achievements.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, Sheikh Mohammed visited a building in Dubai, and he's declared that all buildings will be green buildings henceforth.
Oh, wow.
And one event after the other got connected. Somebody introduced me to someone in Dubai, and after 2 months I was visiting Dubai and looking at starting my business in Dubai.
Wow. So it was such an organic
Organic,
entry into the market. There
absolutely.
was no MBA degree, no structured planning.
Nothing.
It was pure passion that led you here.
Absolutely. I became a lead AP so that I can, work towards green buildings, but I
Yeah.
had no plan to look into Middle East market at all.
Right. And in each of my podcasts, I always ask why Dubai, because we are all based in Dubai. So
Right,
what's your version of why Dubai?
I think when I came to Dubai, and this is like 2007-8,
Right.
and so I've seen Dubai in last almost 18, 20 years on how
Right.
Dubai has grown. One thing that has not changed in Dubai is the vision of the leadership,
True.
that they always want to do something bigger, better, and they always want to be on the forefront of this transformation of built environment, especially because
Right.
I think at the core they've realized that one of the big pillar of the economy is real estate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they always want to challenge the status quo, despite the fact that they build something great and then they challenge that itself and they want to build something better.
Yeah.
I think that's what keeps Dubai going, and that's what keeps pulling people from across the world to be part of this journey where Dubai is.
So what kind of design practice is yours?
So I did not start with the practice that I have today, right?
Right,
Like
right.
any other architect, I started my journey in a small town. So obviously I was
Right.
doing very conventional stuff.
Right.
Then I moved towards sustainability. When I came to Dubai, I partnered with with a company called Archiplan at that time, and
Mhm.
and I was doing green building. I started one of my big flagship project that I did was the one and only on Palm Jumeirah as a sustainability consultant.
Right.
And my journey towards architecture was always driven by the developer's preference of efficiency, right?
Okay.
I want to make sure that my building is efficient. So you
Yeah.
end up building always an efficient building, which is a matchbox building.
Yeah.
Looks
It
not so
looks
great.
pretty similar.
If I
Yeah.
don't want to call it ugly, but let's say not so great.
Yeah.
So that's what the journey was for the longest time.
Right.
I would say only around 2015, that would be 10 years back, I started realizing that every business is a technology business, right?
Understood.
Unless you have a technology play in your business,
True.
you cannot succeed or you cannot be in the forefront. So I started investing a lot into technology. I started exploring technology. And as I went deeper and deeper, I realized that how technology can impact architectural design.
Right.
Right.
And that's how sustainability and AI can in a way drive smart cities, right?
Absolutely.
I always like to talk about failures. So is there one thing that you did, you failed, and then you got out of it?
Not one, many.
Many. So many.
Yes.
So let's just talk about one failure and then
So So failure as an entrepreneur or failure as an architect?
As anyone.
Right? Okay. My biggest failure or biggest learning in life was not respecting the cash flow that I had. You always have a phase in your life where you think that wherever I touch, it turns to gold,
Yeah.
right? And then you feel that you follow your gut instead of data,
True.
right? And
True.
then you make decisions in life, in your career, and then all of a sudden you realize that, oh fuck, where am I?
Yeah.
So I think that was my biggest learning,
Right.
especially my first stint outside India. When I started in Dubai, I came in with certain cash in hand that okay, I'll come and I have so much of money, and I am quite successful in life. I'll
Yeah.
come and I'll start the business and everyone will
Yeah.
appreciate. I did not get my license to practice for 8 months in Dubai.
Wow.
So despite having clients across the table,
But
I
you
cannot
could
sign the
not-
contract,
Yeah.
and I burned all my money.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I burned all my bridges in India. I said, no, now I'm off to Dubai and I'll
Oh,
practice in
God.
Dubai. So I think
Yeah.
that was my biggest learning in life, that
That's
you
great.
need to respect your cash
Yeah.
flow. You need to respect your money,
True.
so that I always
I think, and
remember.
now the world is overall moving towards leaner teams and asset low kind of structures. But if you had to give one piece of advice to the young architects, to the people in the community, what would that be?
I also get invited in the colleges as a jury to look at how designs are done and to assess their design. And I interact with so many young architects as well. One thing that I still notice is that they do not understand what is design all about, right? It is still important that we can educate them about how important the experience is.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah. Sure.
if they can understand that, they'll have all the tools at their disposal in no time to design something great.
True.
But I don't think that AI will be able to create that kind of experience.
Yeah.
The human touch would be required because
Yes.
every project is unique, and every project requires a unique journey.
Right. And a unique perspective.
Unique perspective, because the context is very unique in each and every project. So I would say that is something the young architects need to focus on, and rest will all fall in place.
Great. I think that kind of summarizes your whole journey and what you are doing. Thank you so much for coming to the pod.
Thank you.
Subscribe now and join us on this beautiful journey.